Hi, fintech enthusiasts. I'm Mirela Ciobanu, lead editor with the Paypers. I'm with Piotr Jelenski from ASEE Group at Money Motion 2025, where we are about to speak about the future of banking, the use of AI, innovative technologies in banking in general. Yes. Piotr, so happy to have you here today with us. I'm curious, can you tell a bit about ASEE Group? What does it do? And how large is the company? What are some of the markets that you are serving?
So, how to do it shortly? We are growing all the time. We are 4,200 or 4,200 people now. Yes, we are present at about 26 markets. Country markets. Of course, in different markets, we are different size. Yes, in some we are very big, in some we have small companies. But this is where we have physical presence and present. And in terms of business, we are very diversified. But to simplify, the whole group is divided around banking solutions. That's one vertical. Second vertical, very big, is around all payment solutions related, e-commerce, networks, POSs, electronic cash registers, different things, payment related.
Yeah.
Third is dedicated solutions, which we call, and they're different solutions, very specialized for sectors. It can be billing, it can be custom-made software for public administration, it can be collaboration tools like Product Live that we have, some CRM, contact center elements in this. It can be BPM solutions, business process management solutions. So we have these areas, niches in which we specialize, but all of them are a bit smaller than banking, which is very dominant, and that's why it's in a separate vertical, yes?
Okay, so let's focus on the banking. If you are to highlight some specific aspects when it comes to banking, to some of these regions that you are operating in, what would those aspects be?
Well, basically...
Or let's take first three champion markets that you have it on your agenda, and what are the aspects in that area?
We are the strongest in we are present in many, many countries, but strongest we are in Southeastern Europe, yes?
Okay.
So where we are. And what do we see? Of course, something continuously happening, consolidation of the market, yes? So small banks are disappearing and the big banks are growing, yes? Acquiring new additional banks around them, yes? That's one thing, yes? So economy of scale. Second thing is we see challengers to the banks, fintechs. I don't think they are flipping the table yet on the market. The banks have their control of the market, and I think this will remain because banks are rapidly adjusting to the competition of fintechs, and fintechs push the banks into more flexibility, more agility towards the customer. Yes, that's what we are observing. We are seeing the technology shifts in last years. It's happening all the time, but the technology shift gives banks much more flexibility. The flexibility in choosing the solutions. Yes. And in the past, they were more forced and obliged to build all-in-one solution, big solutions. Today, they can put things in buckets or in some clusters and buy from separate vendors and through APIs interconnect. So they are more independent, and this forces us to be more specialized and professional in each domain that we offer, yes?
Yeah. So you mentioned about consolidation, use of technology. I'm curious, if we go back to when ASEE Group was founded in 2007, if you are to compare the business environment, do we have now more opportunities and more means to do business and to make our company profitable than we had back then, or how things changed?
It's not an easy one, yes, because, from my personal perspective, very subjective, I would say if I would go backwards 10 years ago, it was easier then than today. But today I'm more experienced than then, so it's not more difficult, yes? So maybe it's even easier today than 10 years ago because the experience maybe grew faster or more than the complexity of outside. But definitely, the world is progressing in terms of tools, technology, and so on, yes? So doing business as such, for sure, if you use today's tools, it was much easier 10
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago or 20 years ago, yes?
You mentioned technologies. What do you think are the key technologies that are driving innovation?
You have to remember, I'm not a technology guy, even though I manage technology company. That's my
Yeah.
huge weakness
But-
and strength. But maybe that will help me answer in a simple way. Well, I
But
think,
I don't know. Just think about some of the processes. So you mentioned you have payments, banking, then you have other dedicated parts like billing, automation, CRM. That's CRM.
Sure. I think one topic we've touched, new technologies give much bigger flexibility to the customer.
Yeah.
In terms of integrating third-party solutions or other solutions
But which
with
are
your core. Yes?
which are those technology like? I don't know, cloud, AI, or
Well, it depends how you define technology, because cloud uses different technologies to provide this flexibility. Yes,
I see.
to have to position something on the cloud, you apply different technologies. I will not name here vendors of these global technologies. Not to men, but this is a big shift. So giving this flexibility, and then you have a choice to use different vendors, or you have a choice to go to cloud, or to move back from cloud to your in-house. And all the vendors of solutions, including cloud providers, any players tried historically, and still today they try to capture you. So technology gives the customer more flexibility. The customers, the vendors do everything to stick the customer to themselves, to provide them such solutions that they become loyal to them and will not switch or swap or take an alternative solution for something else. So this game is very much accelerating here, yes? When you talk about AI, I think AI is something like internet has been in the year 2000, yes? So there were huge expectations. There was even an internet boom and then internet crash, yes?
Yeah.
Did it make internet or this e-com or boom stupid? No. I mean, the expectations were correct in the year 2000. They were just over-accelerated, over-exaggerated.
Yeah.
And, people tried to discount the benefit of e-commerce, benefit of internet in 1 year, something that will happen in 30 years. I think the same is happening today with AI. With AI today, we have a situation where there's no, it's obvious it will be changing the world. It started to change the world. And I think this impact of changing will be increasing. But today people assume everything will happen in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, we have a very big AI team of 50 people. Yes, we are investing in this a lot and helping the customers. But we see many of the customers are lost. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to apply it. They either experiment it. Sometimes they lose a lot of money on it. Sometimes they wait. Different customers take different strategies. Yes. But actually, the big AI investors are big global international players, the biggest ones, who sunk billions without clear answer what will be the benefit. But they are just investing just in case, yes? All the rest, super risky, yes? Because how to monetize on this. But some of the things are easy to monetize already today, and we are seeing, especially in automation, in selection of the right customers, in adjusting dynamic offer, adjusting for the customer based on databases. This is something which AI helps to use, yes? In chatbots for call centers, this is also very helpful, yes?
Yeah. So we saw the benefits. We also saw that there are big investors that are pouring money. But what would be the risk if you don't do anything?
Well,
here is the challenge and the benefits
I would
part.
say the risk is of not thinking about it. That's a huge risk.
Okay.
Yes, not tracking what's happening. That's a very dangerous thing, in my opinion, and that should not be the case for anybody. Yes, doing something might be a risk, but might be also a great advantage, because you don't burn money on things that will be tested before you really focus and spend money when people have already checked what works, what doesn't work, yes? So observing what's happening, being on top of things is super important, but when you pour money into it, and where do you pour it exactly, when and where, this is very subjective.
Now I want to tease you with another, let's say, emerging, promising technology or ecosystem, DeFi, decentralized finance. And what role do you think traditional banks will play in an era dominated by fintech startups and decentralized DeFi?
So decentralized finance, yes?
Yes, yes.
But offered by fintechs or what? Or by the PSD2 regulations that impose or force the banks to more flexibility and...
So when I say decentralized finance, I'm thinking about all these technologies that enable this movement of money and data privacy and data security, that people will have access to it, and some traditional systems might be bypassed, or transactions could eliminate some intermediaries, things happen more fast.
This is very visible in some financial services. Let's take very simple ones, yes? Money exchange, yes, currency exchange.
Yeah.
So basically, banks were originally making quite big money on exchange rates towards their customers. They still do, by the way, yes? But there's more and more players. By the way, Revolut started like this, yes, offering super attractive exchange rates on their payment cards, yes?
Yeah.
And for this tool, they lured many customers. What was the reaction of the banks? Many banks have introduced their currency converter product, which was very competitive to fintechs, yes?
Yeah.
Still, they've offered, some of the banks I know, they offer this only for smart customers, for the ones who choose it. The traditional customers still are subject to this traditional FX ripoff, yes?
Yeah.
So basically, I think this decentralization and more versatility or more ability to choose makes the market more competitive and forces the player to offer better solutions, more innovative solutions, including the traditional ones, yes? And this will be happening everywhere, yes? But the market will adapt, customers will adapt, and the vendors will adapt, yes? The banks will adapt. So we are visualizing this. International payments, yes? In some cases, when it's a quasi-monopolistic situation, sometimes the regulators step in, yes?
Yeah.
So interchange fees, in Europe, they were forced down by the regulation, yes? That they were capped. They cannot exceed certain amounts, yes? So this we will be, I think, observing as well, yes? But I think competition will be, the key point is to have competition. If it disappears, the innovativeness disappears. But I think the big players are, if they adjust, if they observe and react, they will stay. They will stay.
Observe and react. And based on observation, reaction, using technologies.
But also one more, I would say, trend that I think we'll be observing is that because the technology, the tools we have, the mobile phones, everything gives us accessibility to many different platforms, yes? Let's take television. Many years ago, you opened a television, you had few channels, and you were watching television, yes?
And you had to go to press the button.
Yes. People, they went to satellite, these connections to have the satellite TV. Today, there's a huge shift to different service providers like Netflix, like HBO, like Amazon Prime, like many of them, too many to name, yes?
Yeah.
People choose many of them. They don't choose one. They change. They rotate. They buy for a different period of time. They have this. Does it mean television disappeared? No, it didn't. But these new elements came in, took part of the market away, yes? But the whole market grew also tremendously in this type of entertainment thing. And then you have cinemas who lost out of it, yes? And I think the same will be with banking and financial services.
Payment.
There will be new alternatives, many more. And for some services, people will just choose a different provider.
Yeah, you anticipated one of my last questions. How do you see the future of banking in 5 to 10 years? But I see that in a way, consumer behavior and demand dictates creativity and agility and the way of adapting.
I think the banks are
flexibility, as you mentioned.
This we covered. What maybe is new that I could add to this is that Banks are under tremendous pressure of their shareholders to increase
Oh,
profits.
yeah.
And they're the most profitable in the history today already. And they still try to increase it. Now, there is a trade-off on quality, SLA, where this will stop paying back.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think in next 3-5 years, we'll see big shifts, yes, because the banks that exaggerated with cost regime and cost cutting, not investing enough in technology,
Yeah.
they will be losing out a
Yeah.
bit on the market, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, the ones that overinvest, they will be losing out as well. So there is some balance between the two, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think this competitive pressure, and I think the customers will be, the regulators and technology will give more freedom of choice to customers. What
Yeah.
is still not the case, and I think it will come, is among telephone providers. If you're a consumer of a telephone, mobile, if you want to change your provider, you can keep your phone number.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine what will happen if you'll keep your bank account and you can change the bank.
That interoperability.
Yes.
Yeah.
This will become competitive
Yeah,
among
yeah.
banks. And I think this is coming.
Yeah, yeah.
It's difficult technologically and so on, but this type of regulatory pressure to force the banks
Yeah.
into this more aggressive, because today people are lazy, they were lazy, they are lazy, they will be lazy, that's humans, that's us, yes? So we take the easy path. If you have a bank, you don't want to change it because it's too complex, you're too used to too many things. But once this is made much easier for you,
Yeah.
you can just shift all the services, everything to another one through simple APIs. Then we'll talk about completely different dimension.
But we didn't even touch on fraud, because here indeed for the consumer it would be benefic. But then when you think about fraud, who takes liabilities for what?
Well,
the
financial institution that takes over all the responsibility.
Yeah.
So they will have to secure all the fraudulent and all these things. Yes. The whole process has to be kind of controlled, yes? And this will be delayed because of these issues, as you mentioned, yes? Because people will be afraid about what happens in between and what is the risk and what's the consequence, yes?
Yeah, and speaking about fraud, what are some things that you are following on these topics?
Well,
in banking.
We have a very kind of specialized team in fraud, so we are investing a lot in this. The biggest amount of references, also huge ones, we have in Turkey.
Okay.
But also on other international markets, quite many. And, we see basically AI, yes, using AI tools into fraud detection.
Fraud, yeah.
And seeing some patterns which have to be tracked. This is something we work on, and it's already being developed globally, yes. So this is the major trend which is coming, yes. But with for sure security with technology advancement will be the growing topic, one of the fastest growing topics. Yes.
Yeah. And speaking about growing topics, we're here at Money Motion, 2025. What are your takes of the event so far?
Well, it's a dynamic event with many people who are coming. Well, like any event, I think there's plenty of people who mostly drink coffee and do nothing else. But
At we have to cut it.
but I think people can get inspirations, can get new hints, new ideas, and that's very helpful.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Piotr, for today's discussion.
Pleasure. Thank you.